On this tab, we're going to look at how to create a one variable data table. So before we begin, I'm going to delete these out so that we can start from the beginning. So to create a data table, so for example, I want to be able to know that if I change this to 400, I want to know what the revenue, expenses, and income are. So I could actually type different numbers and create this table manually by doing that, but there's a much faster way to do that in Excel. So the first thing you're going to do is put the relevant fields here across the top of your one variable data table. So I'm going to add the participants here, and that's the thing that's going to be changing. And I'm going to convert that just to a regular number. This revenue is this number here. And so I just equal and then click on total expenses, and same thing for net income. Okay, now to set up the table, what we want to do is go from 400 to 900 in increments of 50. So I just start that pattern, highlight them both, and then I have my tools there. Remember, this was 525 when we started. That'll change these, and then we could type those in. But all we really have to do is now highlight those cells where we put all that, where it equals over here in the table. And we have to highlight the column for our input cells. We go to Data, What If Analysis. It doesn't want to click. There we go, Data Table. And then to decide, when you're doing a one variable data table, you have to decide which place you're going to insert this. And these are your inputs. And so they're in a column, so you know that it's a column input cell. So the way you think about what reference do I put here is this input 400. Where would I type that? Over here in order to get the numbers for 400? Well, we already showed that, and you're going to put that right here. So the input cell is this. So if we were to input 400 here, what would the results be for these three fields? Same thing for 450. And by doing this, it will create that for each one of those numbers. And you can check that by typing 400 in there and see that those numbers are the same. So that top row is totally dependent upon what number is there. All of these are dependent upon this input cell. Okay, so we can also do a chart based on these. So we can highlight the cells D16 through, hold on, we're just going to do revenue and expenses, not net income. Okay, and so we're going to insert a scatter chart with lines connecting, straight lines and markers. There we go. Okay, and now we can move that over here underneath where our table is so that it makes good sense to the readers. And then we don't need the chart title, so we can uncheck that. And we want to edit the axes so that we don't have all this space over here. So we click more options on the axis. And so the axis options, our minimum on the axis is going to be, let's see, 400. And our maximum is going to be 900. Okay, and the y-axis, we want to start that at 10,000, so we click over here on the y-axis. Well, my computer is not responding here. Sorry. Let's try y-axis again. There we go. Axis options, and our minimum is going to be 10,000. Okay, and we want to update these series names here so that they actually say revenue and expenses. Okay, and so we can go right here to select data and edit that right here, and the series name for the first one is revenue, and the series name for the second one is expenses. Okay, and that's what that chart will look like after you create that one variable data table. We've created a scatter chart with lines and markers, edited those axes, and now we've got some good information that someone can use to analyze different gym member numbers with their revenue and expenses.